dance hall, you know, dance hall space is this incredibly inventive space where you kind, which, where you're, where you come up with your kind of, I guess, your own kind of identity, particularly as it relates to fashion. And it's all about bravado and, very much about posturing and showing off, showing off what you have or your ability to access things. And this is a working class space. So yes, the person coming from, maybe upper class is able to afford these name brands too. But in dancehall space, the name brands or branding is also equally important to show your ability to access these things. But dancehall is, more than just posturing. Of course, it's the music. So there is, always incredibly colorful lyrics coming out of the genre, and it addresses anything from what you're able to have, how you feel about your friend, also to your views on sexuality, how you feel about things happening in your community. But dancehall, in many ways, is also a space where social commentary happens through music in the same way that reggae was also, echoed the commentary of its time. Dancehall has gotten a lot of flack for being, very homophobic and also incredibly violent. But I mean, if you even take a look at, say, for example, Hollywood movies, a lot of these things also exude violence. But I think, like it's always said, the art always reflects the times. And in some ways, we're very much in a moment of, hypersexualized imagery and violence. And, women are often the centerpiece for the kind of way the violence is kind of demonstrated in some ways. But so it's, and then also to dancehall is also about how many, like posturing and masculinity, about how much girls you have. But then on the other end, while dancehall is a very masculine space, it does have a small, group of female DJs. One very popular female DJ is Lady Saw, who has been like the reigning dancehall queen in many ways. But what's interesting too is the kind of battling that happens between the sexes in dancehall space. I mean, maybe the typical feminist would be a little like shocked by some of the things that would that a dancehall female artist or the female participant would do in dancehall space. But in many ways, the way females act in that space is by taking control of their sexuality and throwing it back at the man. In the same way that the man would take charge of his sexuality and throw it at the woman as a way to show off his madness, or show off his masculinity. The woman also does the same thing too. So there's this interesting play between the sexes in that space. But dancehall also too is a space that reflects wider Jamaican concerns and issues, and it kind of reaffirms in many ways what's playing out in the larger spaces. I think like many popular cultures do, but it's an incredibly but juxtaposed with all of that, it's also an incredibly campy space, which a lot of people find ironic. How can dancehall culture be campy, but then at the same time be homophobic? But yeah, dancehall is all about performing, yeah. Because once you exit that space, in many ways, your lifestyle, your actual lifestyle, may not reflect what you're posturing in that space. So it's very theatrical and all about creating this moment within this larger moment. And sometimes it is decadently